नित्यमच्युतपदाम्बुजयुग्मरुक्मव्यामोहतस्तदितराणि तृणाय मेने अस्मद्गुरोर्भगवतोऽस्य दयैकसिन्धोः रामानुजस्य चरणौ शरणं प्रपद्ये यत्पदाम्भोरुहध्यानविध्वस्ता शेषकल्मषः वस्तुताम् उपयातोऽहं यामुनेयं नमामि तम्। श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। Three of you so far. Anyway, recording is there for those who are interested to watch it later. We are on the seventh chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, going through the commentary of Bhagavad Ramanuja. We have done so far 7 verses in the 7th chapter. We need to continue from the 8th chapter, 8th shloka. The 7th chapter, it is a part of the second hexad, meaning it belongs to the 6 chapters beginning from 7 and ending with 12. The cream of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, we can say, this hexad, these 6 chapters, they talk about the greatness of Bhagavan vis-a-vis his relation to the other 2 entities or tattvas, namely Chetana and Achetana. We are talking about 3 tattvas that are always together: Chit, Achit and Brahman. To share space with someone is the most difficult thing that we have. So here we are saying that 3 tattvas, they exist in the same place. So how is it possible? How can more than one tattva be accommodated in the same place? And how can I talk about their unity? That is the challenge. That is the issue here. The Upanishad itself, it gives an answer in the form of the Atma Sharira Bhava. There is a unity in the body soul concept. The body and the soul together, they constitute a single entity. In that way, Brahman is like the Antaratma for the Atmas and the Atma for the Achetana Tattvas. And the Jivatmas and the Achetana Tattva, they become like Sharira for the Paramatma. Just like how in our own Sharira, we have the consciousness, awareness, which is the Atma, and we have those parts of the body in which our consciousness, it reaches. We're able to have emotion, we're able to have feelings in those parts. And there are some parts like our hair or the nails or perhaps even the bones where we don't seem to have much of feelings. So even within the Sharira, there is a difference between the parts. One is, let us say, completely Achetana, like the nails and bones and hairs, let us say hair, where we won't be able to have any feeling. Our consciousness does not seem to pervade our hair and tip of the nails, etc. And I mean, though awareness may be there, the point here is that they can be cut and still no harm is done to the body, basically. That's the point here, more than the awareness part. But there are other parts like we have the skin and the sense organs and so on, where there is both awareness as well as any loss that happens to them, it results in a dukkha. So in this way, it is possible for the matter, that is Achetana Tattva, the Jivatmas and the Paramatmas, to exist in the same space and have a relation between them in the form of Atma Sharira Bhava. Now Bhagavan, what he does is he tries to explain this immanence. There are two things which we talk about the Paramatma: transcendence and transcendence. Got confused. Transcendence and the immanence. That is the Paratattva, being para and being an Antaryami to exist everywhere. Go to read the words of Bhagavad Ramanuja on the page number 249. Ataha sarvasya paramapurusha sharirattvena atmabhuta paramapurusha prakaratvat sarva prakaraha paramapurusha eva avasthita iti sarvaihi shabdaihi tasya eva abhidanam iti tattat samanadhikaranyena aha rasaha aham iti chaturbihi padyaihi. In 4 verses from now on, Bhagavan is going to say a few things. What is he going to say? Sarvasya paramapurusha sharirattvena. All other things other than Bhagavan are sharira to him. So they constitute the body of the Paramatma. And Atma Bhuta Paramapurusha Prakaratvat. As they become his body, they are like his modes of existence. Prakara. Sarva Prakaraha Paramapurusha Eva. So if at all we're talking about the existence of which entity, it is the Paramatma's existence alone we are talking. Avasthitahi iti sarvaihi shabdaihi tasyeva abhidhanam. So all the words refer to such a Paramatma only. To make it clear, if we take our own personality, there is a Sharira. Over and above the Sharira, we wear different clothes and let us say we decorate ourselves also. So there are so many things on the body of each one of us. And the body is above the Atma. Suppose I come to your house, you would say you would say perhaps Sreeram is coming, or Dr. Sreeram is coming, or the Gita teacher is coming. That's it. You will not say Atma of Sreeram is coming, this Sharira is coming, this dress is coming, the Alankara that he has put on, maybe some other chain I'm wearing, a golden watch perhaps I'm wearing. All these things you will not mention separately, that all these things are coming. Only thing what we'll say is so and so is coming, Sreeram is coming. So we are talking about the existence or the presence of only one entity as a whole. Likewise, why we are not talking about the clothes and the ornaments that I wear? Because they belong to the Sharira, which belongs to the Atma. Therefore, and also that they cannot have an existence without the Sharira or the Atma. Therefore, all the words they refer to only or Paramatma only. This is a Samanadhikaranya Nyaya. Samanadhikaranya means Samana Adhikarana. Now, all these are in the same substratum. Atma, the Sharira, the clothes, the ornaments, so on. So, all these are in the same substratum, and the important part of the substratum is the Atma. Likewise, Paramatma is the only reality which is being spoken about in the Upanishads, and it is not denying, it is not to deny the reality of the other entities, but what we say is that the others have dependent reality, whereas Paramatma has independent reality. By being the modes of Paramatma, the other entities also have a reality. This is what we are talking about. So Bhagavan is going to explain this in the through the coming verses, following verses. Rasohamapsu kaunteya prabhasmi shashishurtyayoho pranava sarva vedeshu shabdasve shabdahke paurusham nushu. He is taking the essence of every being, everything that exists, but he takes only a few examples. First, he says, Aham apsu rasaha. Water has taste. It's a contradiction to what we study in school. Water does not have order, color, taste, whatever. But in Shastras, it is said water does have taste. Rasaha aham apsu. Or the very essence of water is me, Arjuna. I am the essence of water. What he means is that if that essence of water is being taken, water won't exist. So Bhagavan is the essential being of all beings. That's the meaning here. Prabha asmi shashi surya yoho. If the radiance, if the illumination of both the moon and sun are to be taken off, then they will cease to exist. Therefore, Bhagavan is the light that the sun and moon they bear. Pranavaha sarva vedeshu. The pranava, the omkara sound is the essence of all Vedas. All the Vedas they evolved from the pranava. Therefore, pranava is the essence of the Vedas and Bhagavan is pranava. And shabdaha ke, kam means akasha. Sound is the essence of akasha. Sound is the quality of akasha. And in fact, in terms of evolution, water is actually born from what is known as rasa tanmatra in the Srishti Krama. Akashat Vayuhu, Vayuragnihi, Agnirapaha, Adbyaha, Prithvi. That is Akasha, from Akasha, wind, from wind, or air, from wind comes fire, from fire, water, from water, earth. But in between, there are what are known as tanmatras. So there is Shabda Tanmatra. From Shabda Tanmatra, Akasha is born. Therefore, Shabda is the essence of Akasha. Likewise, from Akasha, Sparsha Tanmatra is born, which is air, which is the origin of air. From air, Rupa Tanmatra. From Rupa Tanmatra, fire. From fire, Rasa Tanmatra. From Rasa Tanmatra, water. From water, Gandha Tanmatra. And from Gandha Tanmatra, earth or Prithvi. So this is the order of creation. So if you look at this order of creation, it is clear to us that Shabda becomes the basis for Akasha and Rasa becomes the basis for water in creation. Therefore, Bhagavan says he is that essential part of them. Punyo Gandhas, Punyo Gandhah Prithivyaam cha Tejaschasmi Vibhavasau Jivanam Sarva Bhuteshu Tapaschasmi Tapasvishu. Punyaha Gandhaha Prithivyaam. I am the pure smell in the earth. Vibhavasu means fire. Vibhavasau means in fire. Tejaha. I am the brilliance of the splendor of fire. Jivanam Sarva Bhuteshu. I am the life principle in all beings. If the life principle were to be taken out, then beings won't exist. Therefore, Bhagavan is the life principle. And Tapaschasmi Tapasvishu. Who is called as a Tapasvi? One who has tapas in him is called as Tapasvi. Therefore, Bhagavan is the tapas. The essence of a tapasvi is his tapas. Therefore, Bhagavan is the tapas. Bijam mam sarva bhutanam vidhi partha sanatanam buddhir buddhimatam asmi tejas tejasvinamaham. Very beautiful shloka. Bijam mam sarva bhutanam vidhi. Know me to be the primeval seed of all beings and the source. Sanatanam, to exist always. Buddhihi buddhimatam asmi. Bhagavan is the intelligence principle or buddhi of all the learned people, and he is the brilliance of all the brilliant people. So when we say jnana in action, it is actually the Paramatma which is in action. So again, to re-emphasize that he is the essence of everything. When will we call someone as Buddhiman? Only if he has buddhi, right? So that buddhi is Bhagavan basically. Balam balavatam chaham kamaraga vivarjitam dharma viruddho bhuteshu kamosmi bharatarshabha. Balavatam balam. Again, Balavan means one who has Bala. That Bala is basically Bhagavan, strength. Then Kamaraga Vivarjitam. We all have desires, right? You're not talking about the passion or the uh, the negative aspects of desire, but to exist, to desire to exist, that is there in all of us. So whatever legal desires that we have, which is permitted, all those are Bhagavan. They represent Bhagavan. Because if you lack desire, then it amounts to dying actually. If you look at this statement very closely, if somebody is so virakta that he does not have any desire at all, then there is no point in that person living, surviving, right? Therefore, desire becomes or is the basis of existence. That desire is Bhagavan. Dharma aviruddho bhuteshu. And also that Bhagavan is a Kama. Kama is also okay. Sorry, the Kamaraga Vivarjita should go to the strength basically, not with this. Kamaraga Vivarjita Balam, that pure strength per se, which is devoid of desire and passion, that is Bhagavan. Then Kama Bhuteshu Bharatarshaba Ahamasti. Now the desire in all the beings, which is not forbidden, which is not forbidden by dharma, that know that to be me, says Bhagavan. It does not mean that other things do not exist. They all exist, but Bhagavan represents these essential parts of all beings. Meaning, if these essential parts are not there, then those things would cease to exist. So that is Bhagavan. Okay. Uh, like I remember an advertisement. It does not come any longer. We have told this before. It is about an agarbatti advertisement. Uduvatti or agarbatti. Parents, along with grandparents in the family, they take their children to a temple. Suddenly, the boy asks the parents, "What if God is not there? What if God is not there? What if God were not there? God is not there?" Then they're all struck because they're going to a temple now. They don't know how to answer this child about the question on existence of God. As they struggle to give an answer, the child itself says very casually, "If Bhagavan was not there, then there will be no water in the coconut on the coconut tree." So like this, the child gives some very beautiful answers, like fragrance won't be there in the flower, etc. So which indicates that it is the Bhagavan which is the essential part of all things that exist. So to indicate that these shlokas have been given, then I'm reading the words of Bhagavad Ramanuja on 250 page. Ete sarve vilakshana bhavaha matta eva utpannaha. So all these peculiar characteristics of the objects that I mentioned, they come from me. Because somebody has to hold. See, Balavan may die, but the Bala should be there, no? So who will hold that Bala until somebody comes to take it, partake of it? So it is Paramatma which holds everything together. That's the point here. Machesha bhuta macharyataya mayyeva avastitaha ataha tat prakarah aham eva avastitaha. When we say some things exist in this world, both abstract and physical, all these have to exist always, right? Uh, and I mean, in both in the manifested stage and unmanifested stage or states. So manifested states, we know, we see a strong person, so we can perceive the strength in that strong person. But strength is a concept which has to be there always. It is not that it should come only along with the strong person. So that essential characteristics of these beings is Bhagavan, basically. Ye chaiva sattvika bhava rajasastamasa ye matta evetitan vidhi natvaham teshu te mayi. 12th shloka, he includes even the Rajasa and the Tamasa bhavas also. Sattvika, Rajasa, Tamasa, all these bhavas, they all come from me. They're all in me. I'm not in them. This is the superficial English meaning. Let us go through Ramanuja's commentary. Kim Vishishya Abhidhiyate. Kim Vishishya Abhidhiyate. In 249 page, if you look at the middle of the page, Ramanuja's commentary, the second line, Avastita iti sarvaihi shabdaihi tasya eva abhidhanam. So that abhidhanam is what is being linked to by Ramanuja over here. Abhidhiyate. Abhidhanam means that's the name or reference, denotation, denotes. So here, there it is said that all words denote Paramatma only because he is the essence of existence. Here, Bhashyakara now he begins his commentary. Kim Vishishya Abhidhiyate. So what is that is taken as illustration and referred to as the existence of Paramatma. Satvikaha, Rajasaha, Tamasaha. Jagati Bhogyatvena, Dehatvena, Indriyatvena, Tattad Dhetuttvena cha Avastita ye bhavaha. So whatever the entities that exist which have the three gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas in them, in the form of bodies, objects of experience, senses, and the causes, the objects of enjoyments and their causes. Ye bhavaha tan sarvan matta eva utpannan vidhi. So all these bhavas or all these states of existence or all the entities, they all exist because of me or they come forward from me. Te macharirataya magiyeva avastita iti cha. Because they are my modes of existence, they all originate from me. So this is the meaning of matta eveti tan vidhi. Natu aham teshu te magi. What is the meaning of that? Ramanuja says, Natu aham teshu. Na aham kadachidapi tat tadayatta sthitihi. See, two things, they exist together. Like in the case of Donnai and Vennai. Don't know if you have heard this. Somebody has brought a cup of butter and there is a piece of leaf which is floating around because of the wind. So the butter in the karandi that has to be transferred to the leaf. The leaf has got a support now. With the weight of the butter, it is not wavering now. And because the leaf is there, the butter has got a support now. So these two being together are benefited by both each other. Likewise, if we say Bhagavan is the originator of these things, if they are said to be present in Bhagavan, does he get benefited by their presence? Na aham kadachidapi tadayatta sthitihi. I do not depend on their existence in me. Like the butter, it needed the support of the leaf to be there. Same way, the leaf needed the support of the butter to be there. But Bhagavan says, these things exist in me, but I don't need them to exist. Anyatra, he gives an example. Ramanuja gives an example. Anyatra, in other cases, like us, Atmayatta stititve api sharirasya sharirena atmanaha stitau api upakaro vidyate. In our case, the Atma and the Sharira, they are like the butter and the leaf. If Atma were not there, if Atma is not there, this body will cease to exist. It will decompose. Same way, if the body is not there, the Atma would find it difficult to exist because it does not have a platform to know, act, and experience. Therefore, Atma yatta stititve api sharirasya sharirena atmanaha stitau api. Because of the interdependence is there. The Atma is helped by the body in some ways, and the body is helped with the Atma in some ways. Upakaraha vidyate. Mamatu taihi na kaschit tatha vidha upakaraha. Why? Because we've been talking about Shariratma Bhava. between Bhagavan, Paramatma, and the other entities, we've been talking about Shariratma Bhava, then we may get a doubt. In our case, we also have the Shariratma Bhava, but the Sharira is helping us, right? And the Atma is helping the Sharira. So, likewise, and moreover, the Atma needs a Sharira now. So, likewise, to exist, likewise, if you say Paramatma is the Antaryami of everything else, does Paramatma need these entities to exist and manifest? So, the answer is no. Mamatu taihi na kaschit tatavidha upakaraha kevalam leela eva prayojanam ityartha. Then why do they exist? It's a very interesting question. If Bhagavan doesn't need all these things, still why is he associated with all these things? Leela eva prayojanam. It's a very big vichara. Leela is not like what we say, the Leela refer to this thing, our day-to-day sports activities. But Leela is a rasa, they say. Bhagavan, he wants to help the Jivatmas to get liberated. Therefore, he involves himself in creation, sustenance, and laya. Only for that sake, it is like a pastime for him. He does not take any, because if you say Bhagavad Leela, then we are talking about people suffering. So that even that would be a Leela for Bhagavan. If you think that way, then that would be an unwelcome position for Bhagavan, because he does not take joy in people suffering. So Leela is like an is a rasa for Bhagavan to engage in activities pertaining to creation. Now, 13 and 14 and also 15 are very important verses. त्रिभिर्गुणमयैर्भावैः येभिः सर्वमिदं जगत् मोहितं नाभिजानाति मामेभ्यः परमव्ययम्. Okay, Krishna, if you were to believe in whatever you say, you seem to be so evident. We should be able to see you, perceive you in all things, right? But we are not that way, we know. We are not Nammayavars, at least Adiyan is not Nammayavar. I should not take you all to my side. Nammayavar says in Thiruvaimozhi, Karum Berum Mehangal Kanil, Handanan Rera Parakum. We all see rainy clouds. Some people may be worried, oh, it's going to rain. Or some people may be happy, it's going to rain. So we only bothered about the consequences of looking at the dark clouds. But Nammayavar, the moment he sees those dark clouds, he is reminded of Krishna. Oh, they remind me of Krishna. Perum Pulavu Anile Kanil, Piran Ullan Endru Pinsallum. If he sees a herd of cows, then Nammayavar says he thinks Krishna should be here because this big herd of cows is going, so Krishna should be somewhere amidst the cows. So only people like Atmas like Nammayavar et al., they were able to see Bhagavan everywhere. Others are also there. But what about the people like us? Tribihi gunamayihi bhavaihi ebihi sarvamidam jagat. By the sattva, rajas, tamas, these gunas, they are operating in Prakriti with these gunamayihi bhavaihi. The states originating due to the presence of the three gunas, idam sarvam jagat, the entire world, na abhijanati mam. Yebhyaha param avyayam idam sarvam jagat mohitam. Okay, mohitam belongs to the jagat. Idam sarvam mohitam jagat. This illusion, we can say, or the intoxicated world, by what? By the states of existence due to the presence of the three gunas. Mam na abhijanati. Yebhyaha param abhyayam. They do not perceive me, they do not know me, they do not realize me. Who is superior to these, superior to the Prakriti and its evolutions. Let us go to Ramanuja's commentary, page 251. Tadevam Looking for my specs. Tadevam chetana chetanatmakam krishnam jagat madiyam kale kale mattayeva utpadyate mayicha praliyate. Tat evam. So this world, which is consisting of chetana and achetana, krishnam jagat, the entire world, there is no exception, the entire world kale kale mattayeva utpadyate mayicha praliyate. So in due course of time, whenever there is a time for the creation and absorption, they arise, they originate from me, and they attain laya in me. Mayi eva avasthitam mat sharira bhutam madatmakam cha. So they are all based in me. They are like, they are my body, sharira bhutam madatmakam cha. They have me as their antaratma or atma. इति अहमेव कार्यावस्थायां कारणावस्थायां च सर्वशरीरतया सर्वप्रकारः अवस्थितः. So he says, we saw about these two states, karana and karya. The karana avastha, is a state in which no distinction can be found out in names and forms. All the chetana and achetana are like jumbled and mixed, and then they exist in the belly of Paramatma. You can imagine the Vatapatra Shayi. So he swallowed the entire world and then he is lying on the Vatapatra. That is the Karanavastha. Karyavastha is the world manifests, and there is a distinction between them through the names and forms. So ahameva karyavasthayam karanavasthayam cha sarva sharirataya sarva prakaraha avastitah. If you ask what exists, then it is only Brahman which exists through the modes, we can say. Those modes are the Sharira of Brahman. They exist through Brahman. That would be the proper way of putting it. But here we are talking about the independent existence. So if you ask what is existing, it is Brahman. Idam sarvam khalu vidam Brahma. Again, this is not to deny the existence of other entities, but we are saying they all have a dependent existence. Like the child in the advertisement, if we were to ask, what if Brahman does not exist? Then nothing would exist. That's the answer. So therefore, all words indicate me only. अतः कारणत्वेन शेषित्वेन च ज्ञानाद् असंख्येय कल्याण गुणगणैः च अहमेव सर्वैः प्रकारैः परतरः. So Bhagavan says he is superior to everything else. Why? Because he is the Karana, he is the Sheshi, and he possesses many Kalyana gunas like Jnana, etc. Therefore, with these things, I am Paratara. I am beyond the modes of existence. Mattaha anyati kenapi kalyana gunaganena parataram na vidyate. Compare me or compare to me, nothing else exists which is superior to me by way of possessing these kalyana gunas. Evam bhutam mam tribhyah satvika rajasa tamasa gunamayebhyah bhavibhyah param mat asadharanaihi kalyana gunaganaihi tattad bhogyata prakaraihi cha param utkrishtatamam avyayam sada ekarupam. Okay, sada ekarupam. Evam bhutam mam, me, me to be thus. Having explained now, tribhyah satvika rajasa tamasa gunamayebhyah. from them, from the three gunamayas, from the existence of gunamaya, from the objects which are influenced by these three gunas, bhavebhyaha param, I am different from these existence, the states of existence, due to the three gunas. Mat asadharanaihi kalyana gunaganaihi tattad bhogyata prakaraihi cha param utkrishtatamam. Because of the gunas, the kalyana gunaganas, and the difference between me and the modes, param utkrishtatamam avyayam sada ekarupam. So I am immutable. Avyaya means immutable, does not, I don't change. Utkrishtatamam means I am I'm beyond all these things. Okay, I'm superior to all these things. Sada ekarupam, I don't change. Api taihi eva tribihi gunamayihi nihinataraihi kshana vidhamsibihi. Purva karmana guna dehendriya bhogyatena avastitaihi padartaihi mohitam. Okay, the point here is mohitam. That's why in the commentary, if you look at the book, they have highlighted some words, they have not highlighted some words. The unhighlighted, they refer to the words that are in the verse. So if you see mohitam, it is there in the verse. Whereas the other words before and after mohitam in the commentary are Ramanujas. So if we catch hold of the unhighlighted words, we can somehow try to understand. So let us take mohitam. Mohitam means influenced or under the influence of what? Padartaihi, by objects of existence. What kind of objects? Nihina taraihi. Nihina means low, lowly. Kshana vidhamsibihi, changing from time to time, changing from moment. Every moment, these objects undergo change. Why do they exist? Purva karmanu guna dehendriya bhogyatvena. They all exist according to our purva karma. So we experience these objects as a result of our purva karma. So we have all objects around us and the people also. Why? Because of our own past karma. So instead of blaming them, we have to blame ourselves. It is because of our past karma that we are associated with people around us, positive and negative also. Mohitam, because the people are stupefied by these objects around them, because they are under the influence of these objects around them, deluded. Devatiryang manushya stavaratmana avastitam idam jagatin abhijanati. Therefore, they're not able to recognize the Atma which is present in all these objects. Why? Because they are deluded by what is manifested. They are deluded by what is manifested. That is the material objects which are under the influence of the three gunas in accordance with their past karma. So we become tired to deal with the objects around us. So there is no time to actually go beyond and analyze what is in them. Right? We are all influenced by happiness and sorrow. We don't want to even think about what is this happiness that I have got, what is the sorrow that I have got. We are not able to go beyond to think about them. So that's the reason people don't get to know me, says Krishna. Then on page 252, Ramanuja's commentary in the middle. Katham spatayeva anavadika atishaya anande nitye sada ekarupe laukika vastu bhogyata prakarehi cha utkrishtatame tvayi sthite api. It is like Arjuna's question that he wanted to ask Bhagavan. How is this possible? You are anavadika atishaya ananda, Brahman bliss, they say. That the Brahman bliss cannot be compared to any of the happiness that we get in the Laukika world. Nitye, it is eternal. Sada ekarupe, unchanging. Laukika vastu bhogyata prakarehi cha utkrishtatame. And compared to the Laukika bhogya experience, you are far superior. Vayi sthite, even as you are like this. Atyanta nihineshu gunamayeshu astireshu bhaveshu sarvasya भोक्तृवर्गस्य भोग्यत्व बुद्धिः उपजायते इत्यत्र आह. Very beautiful. Not these words only, but Nammalvar's pasurams. With some pasurams come to your mind. Bhagavan's Nammalvar's own words. Let me explain this Sanskritam part and then go to those pasurams. Okay. Even as you are present in all the objects with all your superior qualities, atyanta nihineshu gunamayeshu astireshu. What are we doing? We are attached to lowly pleasures because of the three gunas. Astireshu. See, our pleasures, they keep changing. In the morning, we are happy with something. In the afternoon, we are not happy with that. Sarvasya bhoktru vargasya bhogyatva buddhihi. How are people like this? How they are not able to experience or perceive you? Rather, they are attached to very lowly means of enjoyment. Upajayate ityatra aha. So this is the question. As if to answer this question, Krishna, he gives the next verse. But before that, I always consider that Tiruvaymoyi is an answer, or it's not an answer. It is like Anuvada. It is like giving a reply, or it is like a translation of the Gita through a bhakta's mind, through a jivatma's mind, a perception. Let me read the pasuram. It is in 5th, Anjam Pattu, 7th Tiruvaymoyi, Noற்ற நோன்பிலேன் நுண் அறிவிலேன் of this part. அகற்ற நீ வைத்த மாயவல் ஐம்புலன்கள் ஆமவை நன்கறிந்தனன் அகற்று என்னையும் நீ அரும் சேற்றில் வீழ்த்தி கண்டாய். Says Nammalvar. Now he says, I am aware of the Maya now. You are Maya, now I am aware. You, he says to Bhagavan, you, in order to keep me away from you, அகற்ற நீ வைத்த மாயவல் ஐம்புலன்கள் ஆமவை நன்கறிந்தனன் அகற்று என்னையும் நீ அரும் சேற்றில் வீழ்த்தி கண்டாய். So this lowly enjoyments, whatever is being referred to, is called by Nammalvar as Seru, Panka, that muddy waters. So now I know that in order to keep me away from you, from your Anubhava, you have given me these sense organs through which I am like caught in the mire. And then the Pasaram goes on, something else. But there are many other references also like this, where Nammalvar very clearly brings about the ethos or the sentiment of the Bhagavad Gita in his own words. So this is a bhava here. So we can very well say that Srimad Ramanuja, he was influenced by the Nalayara Divya Prabandham while he was commentating upon the scriptures like Bhagavad Gita and Brahma Sutras. Daivi Shesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya Mame Vajye Prapadyante Maya Metam Tarantite. The first one is a riddle, the second part is an answer. The sense, the first part of the shloka, it refers to the Maya. Krishna says, this Maya cannot be overcome. But then the second part he says, it gives a solution. The first part he gives a problem. Second part he says, but those who resort to me, I will make them cross over this Maya. Now, what is this Maya that Krishna is talking about? This Maya illusion, as the Advaitins say. Now, now Ramanuja is going to explain. Gunamayi Maya is this now. He qualifies Maya. What is this Maya? It comprises of the three gunas of Prakriti. Mama Maya, he says, Devi, it is divine. Duratyaya, Mama Maya Duratyaya. This Maya that belongs to me or that has me as a basis is hard to overcome. Now, let us look at Ramanuja's commentary, page 252. Mama Esha Gunamayi Sattvarajasthamomayi Maya Yasmat Devi Devena Krida Pravartena Maya Eva Nirmita Tasmat Sarvaihi Duratya Duratikrama. It is like we get some puzzles through WhatsApp. Solve this. We find it very difficult to solve. But when we hear the answer, it looks so simple. Why? Because we never created those puzzles or problems. But for one who created it, it becomes very easy to solve such problems. So this Bhagavan says, this Gunamayi Maya, Maya eva nirmita. I only created it. Therefore, it's difficult for you to overcome because you do not know the nuances of it. By Devena Krida Pravartena, says Ramanuja, it is like a divine sport, but we should not take it as our own sport, wherein we have malefic intentions, but Bhagavan does not have any malefic intentions. Okay, so therefore it's Devi, it's divine. Then Gunamayi, Sattva Rajas Tamomayi Maya. So Maya is not an illusory force here, but Maya is a force which has Sattva Rajas Tama as its basis. Asyaha Maya Shabda Vachyatvam Asura Rakshasastradinam Iva Vichitra Karya Karatvena. So Ramanuja clarifies now what is the meaning of this Maya Shabda. It is like Vichitra Karya Karatvam. So many things things in a second, in a very short span of time. Been a connectivity problem. You able to hear me now?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. So it is like which we hear from the Puranas or scriptures, like how the Rakshasas and the Asuras, how they did some tricks. Yatha cha tato bhagavata tasya rakshartham chakramuttamam आजगामसमाज्ञप्तं ज्वालामालिसुदर्शनं तेन माया सहस्रं तच्छम्बरस्याशुगामिना बालस्य रक्षता देहम् एकैकांशेन शोधितम्. Wonderful power. It created weapons of the evil descent Shambhara. It is some context which we'll look into the context later. But here, what is very important is the usage of the word Maya. The evil designed Shambhara's weapons were foiled one after the other. Ekaika amshena soditam. For protecting the body of the boy. So to protect his devotee, Sudarshana Chakra came and it nullified the weapons of Shambhara, and that looked like Maya, the power of Maya Sahasram, he says. So it refers to some power, let us say. Now, so Maya now refers to some kind of power. Again, Ataha Maya Shabdaha na Mithyartha Vachi. So Ramanuja now engages with a discussion to refute the Advaitins. He says, so Maya does not refer to anything Mithya. Mithya means which does not exist. See, actually, philosophically, they have put it in a very nice way. Advaitins, they say Sadasat Vilakshana. Sat, Asat, Sadasat Vilakshana, they say. Sat means what is real, Asat means what is unreal. Sadasat Vilakshana means which is different from being real or unreal. If you say, does Maya exist? Does the world exist? They say it is Sadasat Vilakshana. They don't say that yes, it exists for sure. They don't say it does not exist for sure, but they say it exists as long as you have Ajnana. It disappears the moment you have Jnana. Like this, very beautifully they have put it. But Ramanuja says, no. Ataha Maya Shabdaha na Mithyartha Vachi. Indrajalikadishu api. Now, what about we hear about some Mayavis? They do this Indrajala stuff, which the object seems to be unreal, right? So how would you accommodate that? How will you not apply the Maya Shabda to those instances? So Ramanuja says, Indrajalikadishu api kenachit mantraushadhina mithyartha vishayayaha paramarthikya eva buddhehe utpadakatvena mayavi iti prayogaha. Ramanuja does not deny the illusory aspect of the objects created, but what he says is that because of the power due to mantra or oshadhi, medicinal herbs, an illusory object perhaps might have been created, but the influence that has on the buddhi of the perceiver, that power, the ability of that to create some sensory perceptions is there, right? Therefore, it cannot be treated as uh, completely illusory. And so it refers to basically some power to create this perceptions in the perceiver. Mayavi iti prayogaha. Therefore, Maya refers to some power. Mayavi refers to the person who holds that power, which could be innate in him, or he might have attained that power through mantra, aushadha, etc. Just to give another example to understand, dreams. Are dreams real or unreal? It's a very big debate. Dreams are unreal, we can say straightforwardly. But if they're unreal, they do create an effect in us. When we wake up the next morning, sometimes we're still sweating, or even during middle of sleep, we are aroused. We wake up frightened. Sometimes we laugh. This is more happening, right? Let us take positive aspects of dreaming. We can see our children laughing, smiling, yeah, because we cannot see ourselves. So there is an effect of the dream, though it can be said to be unreal because it does not happen before us in the world, but yet it does have an effect to create those emotions or feelings in the person who experiences it. Therefore, dreams are considered to be real in Vishishtadvaita. This is an interesting fact. Dreams are considered to be real. What Ramanuja says is that dreams are created by Bhagavan as a result of our own karma, he says. Very beautifully, he says, even dreams are created by Bhagavan as a result of our own karma. With our own past karma, he gives those dreams to us so that we either experience sorrow or joy through those dreams. Therefore, here, so what we need to understand is that the word Maya does not refer to anything that is illusory. Yes, Radhika.
Actually, even Maharishi Patanjali says dreams as one of the thoughts, right? Vritti.
Dreams
As one of the thoughts, right? Vrittis.
Vritti, yes.
So then he also concurs with Vishishtadvaita philosophy.
It's very difficult to say if Patanjali concurs with Vishishtadvaita. But Vishishtadvaita, it takes the principles of yoga into its fold under Bhakti Yoga. Again, this is similarity we can say, or maybe with respect to see, with respect to dream, we can say both are in line. But again, there are differences also because dreams are simply meant as chitta vritti. Patanjali does not say who creates a chitta vritti, but here Vishishtadvaita it says Bhagavan creates Srishti Raha. There is a Brahma Sutra itself which says Paramatma, he creates the dreams in the mind of the dreamer, let us say. So to answer your question, yes, we can say they concur. Tatha mantraushadhadihi eva cha tatra maya sarvaprayogeshu anugatasya ekasya eva shabdarthatvat. Now, what is Maya here? Now, in this instance, the Ramanuja says the mantra or aushadha, they have to be called as Maya now. The illusory objects they produced, they differ. They differ from case to case. But the ability to create those illusory objects, only that has to be called as Maya is the argument. Tatra mithyartheshu Maya shabda prayogaha Maya karya buddhi vishayatvena aupacharikaha. But if you refer to the effect of the Maya, the objects, then that is secondary usage. Therefore, here, to cut the whole this thing short, Maya refers to the power to generate, let us say, those objects which would not have come into being otherwise. Now, he gives an example: Manchaha kroshanti. Lot of times when we speak, the words that we speak, they denote a primary meaning, sometimes denote a secondary meaning. The primary meaning is not taken by the listener, he leaves that. The secondary meaning is taken. So Ramanuja here says Manchaha groshanti. In Tamil they say Totilla agardu. Totil, the cradles are crying. So obviously we know cradles won't cry, but the babies in the cradles would cry, are crying. So தொட்டில் அழறதுன்னு சொன்னா தூளியை பார் தூளி அழறது தூளி, like this we say, it means the baby in the cradle or the tuli, it only cries. So the primary meaning, though it seems to be manchaha means the cradle or the totil, it is left, and the secondary meaning is taken, the babies. It is not directly mentioned. Like this, that though the Maya Shabda, it has to refer to the power to the create those objects, yet it can refer to the objects themselves, but that is secondary. Esha gunamayi paramarthiki bhagavan maya eva mayam tu prakritim vidhyat mayinam tu maheshwaram, says Shvetashvatara Upanishad. It talks about Maya and Mayinam. So Maya is the power, Mayi is the person who holds the power. If either one is false, the other will also cease to exist. Therefore, Maya is real, and Maya is real, and it is owned by the Mayi or Mayavi, that is Bhagavan, who is Maheshwara. Ityadishu abhidiyate. Asyaha karyam Bhagavat Swarupa Tirodhanam Swaswarupa Bhogyatva Buddhihi. What is the effect of Maya that we are talking about in our life? It has two effects. One is it shields Bhagavan's Swarupa from us, so that we don't get to perceive him, we don't get to see him. Also, Swaswarupa Bhogyatva Buddhihi, it generates a feeling in us that our Atma, or whatever the body and other things associated with this existence, those are only Parama Bhogya for us and not Bhagavan. Ataha Bhagavan Mayaya Mohitam Sarvam Jagat Bhagavantam Anavadika Atishaya Ananda Swarupam Na Abhijanati. Therefore, under influence of such a Maya, everything in this world does not, or almost all things in this world, beings of existence, they are unaware of the presence of Paramatma or Bhagavan. Maya Vimochana Upaya Maha. Now, Bhagavan himself says, what is the way to overcome Maya? Mameva ye prapadyante Maya metam tarantite. Those who take refuge in me, prapadyante, those who resort to me, only they can go beyond this Maya. Then Ramanuja's commentary on 254, Mam eva. Who is this Mam? What qualifies this Mam? Satya Sankalpam, Parama Karunikam, Analochita Visheshashesha Loka Sharanyam. Very beautifully says Satya Sankalpam. Why Satya Sankalpam? Because the moment he guarantees liberation, he will give. There will be no obstacle to that. What is the reason for him granting liberation? Karuna, Parama Karunikam. Is that Karuna reserved only for a few? No. Analochita Vishesha Asesha Loka Sharanyam. Whoever resorts to him, he will extend his Karuna, and the moment he guarantees liberation to that person, he will get liberation. Ye Sharanam Prapadyante Te Etam Madiyam Gunamayim Mayam Taranti. So those who surrender to me, only they will be able to cross over this Gunamayi Maya. Maya Mutsrijya Mameva Upasate Ityartaha. The meaning is that because still we are looking at Bhakti Yoga as a means, so he says they will not be under the influence of Maya and they will start worshipping me. That is the meaning here. Kimiti Bhagavad Upasana Padinim Bhagavad Prapatyam Sarvena Kurvanti Ityataraha. So even this resorting to you seems to be easy, but why is it that people don't want to do or people don't do? For that, the answer lies in the 15th verse, which we will see in the next session. Any questions are there? You can ask me now. If the lecture was heard.
Yes, it was. It was very clear, but yeah, the term Maya is still, really able to understand what he actually means by Maya still. So maybe I'll listen to your lecture again when you post it, record and post it. I'll keep chewing on this. Maybe next class, whatever doubt I have.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, then we will end today's session. We will continue from the 15th verse of the 7th chapter next session. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Dhanyavadaha.
Dhanyawadaha.